guys, it's Will, Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Thank you for watching. It's an unboxing. There are a couple things I want to say before we get into this video. Number one, if you feel like subscribing, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. It always helps. You give us a thumbs up. We are on Patreon now. So if you don't know what Patreon is, it's basically like an internet tip jar type of thing. You can give us a couple bucks and you can get access to exclusive content. We're doing giveaways. We're doing percentages off our web store. We also now have a web store. Check that out. terribleinfantfilm.bigcartel.com. Just t-shirts and stuff. Some hoodies. And what's the other thing I was going to say? Oh, yeah, I need to apologize up front for my hair because I don't know what's going on here. And it's just out of control. When I looked at myself in the mirror before we started filming this, what is this? How can I be on the camera with this happening in my head? But I can't help it. This box came today, and we have to unbox it because I'm really excited about it. But we're going to preface this by saying that I'm really, really excited about what's in here. There's two movies, both Blu-rays, and one is like an all-time great classic Hong Kong movie. Is very important in the evolution of Hong Kong cinema. And the other one is like an awesome gonzo exploitation film, cult classic, super violent, crazy movie. It occurred to me as I was getting ready to do this unboxing that we're kind of living in like a golden era of Hong Kong film releases on Blu-ray for Western countries, right? I guess what I mean more specifically English language friendly. And so we've had, in the past couple of years, we've had Project A and A2 from Eureka, Meals on Wheels, or Wheels on Meals, excuse me. And Police Story 1 and 2, both from Eureka and from Criterion Collection in the US. And then 88 Films has put out, most recently they put out The Protector, they put out Crime Story, they put out Miracles, they have previously put out like Dragon Lord, I think maybe Magnificent Bodyguards. Somebody recently put out Last Hurrah for Chivalry. Like a lot of these kind of Shaw Brothers movies. Like I think 88 Films has maybe also done Oily Maniac, Black Magic 2, like those types of like horror movies. And it didn't really occur to me until I sat down to do this unboxing and thinking about what's coming out this year that we already know about, it's already been announced, that like it's not just one or two like cool releases here and there. We are really living in this golden era of this deluge of these re-releases in like the best quality HD Blu-ray format, and it's really kind of awesome. So we know that 8 Diagram Pole Fighter is coming out on Blu-ray later this year. It's also from 88 Films, and they are also putting out Heart of Dragon. They're putting out Dragons Forever, which, come on, everyone better be excited about that. The Vengeance Pack, which is a company in Germany, is putting out Killzone, the original one, the SPL, Donnie Yen and Sammo Hung on like a special edition Blu-ray with all these bonus features on it and stuff. They also recently put out, I think, Lethal Panther, Lady Vengeance, and those two. So yeah, I'm going to get into this. I'm just saying, this is a really exciting time to be into Hong Kong cinema, and to be a collector, and to be like into Blu-rays and stuff. So what do we have here? And I have to think of which order I want to do this in. I think I'll do this one first. So we have... wait for it. These are both from 88 Films, I should say. Heroes Shed No Tears. Hell yes. So I was so excited when they announced this movie. If you're unfamiliar with what this is, I think it came out in 1986. And this is, I think, the final film that John Woo made before Better Tomorrow, which is when he just exploded and became huge and became like, the hottest director of action movies in the world and stuff like that. And obviously went to Hollywood, Face Off, Broken Arrow, and all those movies. And this is like this completely insane, over-the-top, extremely violent, like exploitation war movie about like this rogue general and these like drug dealers in Southeast Asia and these mercenaries who get sent in there. And the level of violence in this, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, it almost reminds me of Shogun Assassin, like Lone Wolf and Cub, if you've seen those movies. It's not as like tongue-in-cheek silly as those movies. It's a pretty serious movie. But like the number of bullets fired, the amount of carnage in this movie is kind of unbelievable, especially given that it's less than 90 minutes long. And other fun fact, actually, I saw this movie in theaters at the New Beverly, which is the theater that Tarantino owns here in LA. And it was a double feature with Eastern Condors, which was awesome. But John Woo's daughter was there because she had never seen this movie before, because it very rarely shows. And has not been available kind of like on great like home releases before. So she just never saw it. And she was in LA at the time. And so she stopped by the theater and she saw it. And they announced the fact that she was there as like a big to-do and everything. She was actually sitting in the same row as me, just like right down from me. I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. So this, just to give you an idea of the bonus features on here, this is Slipcase, is from Kung Fu Bob. If you're on Instagram, you probably know who he is. If you follow us, you follow other Hong Kong cinema accounts. He does awesome work. R.P. O'Brien is, I think, his full name. And there is a booklet in here with liner notes, and there's an essay in here called Bullet Ballot in the Golden Triangle by Asian cinema expert James Oliver. So that sounds fun. And then all the booklets for their Hong Kong releases, I would assume for all their releases, have a lot of really awesome like posters, behind the scenes stills, like rare images and stuff like that. This is a 2K remaster from original 35 negatives. So that's really, really awesome. As we said we did reviews of Miracles and The Protector and Crime Story. As we said in all of those, the remasters just look incredible. And then it says the original mono with improved English subtitles. There's a remixed Cantonese language track in here. There's a remixed English dub. There's new audio commentary from Asian cinema expert Brandon Bentley. So there's 2 cuts of the movie on here too. There's the original Hong Kong cut, which is 88 minutes, which is a mixture of Cantonese and English. And then there's the international cut, which is 85 minutes long, which is the dubbed one, I think. And then there's a special feature where somebody walks you through the different cuts of the film and kind of compares and contrasts them. And then there's a 20-minute long interview with Eddie Ko, who is the star of this film. And actually, Mike and I recently rewatched Lethal Weapon 4, and I completely forgot that he's in that movie. He's the guy, the guy in the beginning in the boat whose family Murtaugh ends up rescuing, and he comes and lives in Murtaugh's house. So what else do we have? So that's the crazy cult classic one, if you can pick up on what I was saying. This is like an all-time great martial arts movie, and one of like those things where you can point to as like ground zero for a lot of things. Come Drink With Me, directed by King Hu. I think this was released in 1966 or 1967. 1966. So I don't know enough about the history of the evolution of Kung Fu cinema and like these old school Kung Fu period piece movies that obviously was the Shaw Brothers' bread and butter, to really say this definitively, but I have read and I have heard people say in conversation that this movie is basically the reason that whole thing exists. Like, this was the one that kicked it all off. King Hu is a really fantastic filmmaker. He did Dragon Inn, which is a really great movie, which is also an old school martial arts movie for Shaw Brothers, and that was a big influence on a lot. Like, if you watch that movie, you could see that the influence of that on like so many movies, including like Hateful Eight, like very recent stuff like that. Sorry, hold it. Mike is sick. He's coughing. He also did A Touch of Zen and like a bunch of other like really kind of like landmark films, and then Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was hugely influenced by his films. So this movie is about a woman who disguises herself as a man, much like the character in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon does, as she goes around the countryside to avoid being accosted by people, obviously. And she's played by Cheng Pei Pei, and she is a like this badass martial artist who is going around this hostile territory fighting with bandits. And it's kind of like one of these movies where you watch it, and I think it'd be very easy to watch this movie and think that it was a part of that whole Shaw Brothers thing, because like the huge explosion of them in the 70s and 80s, because it's so much a part of that world. But then when you find out it came out in 1966, it's like, whoa, what? Seriously? Like 20 years before some of like those big Shaw Brothers movies in the 80s, like 10 years before a lot of the big stuff in the 70s. Like, it's so early and it's so foundational and so influential. And it's just such a great, like, really fun movie. And I think, as all his movies are, if you haven't seen them. So, special features-wise, there's not a ton on here. It's a restored HD master in the original 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio, uncompressed English dub, uncompressed Chinese mono. There's an audio commentary on here, which I'm pretty excited about, with Sam Deegan. I'm actually not really sure who that is, but I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to come back and do a review and talk to you guys about it. And then there's newly translated English subtitles and the original trailer for the film. So again, there's Come Drink With Me, released in 1966. This was on Netflix at some point in the U.S. I don't think it is anymore. But it's one of those movies that like you can't say enough good things about, and you can't stress how influential it is enough. And it's almost like in this unimpeachable position where it's like, what do you even say about it? And I thought about, so I'm going to do an episode of our show, Why I Like This Movie, about Hero Shed No Tears. I was actually planning on doing one anyway. And then I saw the announcement that 88 Films was releasing this, and I was like, okay, cool, perfect. So I'll wait until that comes out, and then I'll do my episode. I don't think I need to do that on Come Drink With Me because the whole point of why I like this movie is that I'm not going to do movies like, as I stressed in the intro when we first did the first episode of that show, A Better Tomorrow was the example I used, but like, I don't want to talk about movies you need to see because there's no point, right? So I thought I would do a special standalone episode on Come Drink With Me called Why You Need to See This Movie Right Now. Basically compelling you to stop everything that you're doing and go and watch it. So my name is Will. These are the most recent Hong Kong cinema releases from 88 films, which are coming out of the UK. So these are Region B, if I didn't say that. So you need to either have a multi-region player or you need to have a European Blu-ray player in order to play these. We will be back with reviews of the Blu-rays, with those extra episodes that I told you about. I'm going to try to get Mike to watch this movie because I actually think that he would like this movie, and we could do an episode of First Watch on it. Hit us up on Patreon, patreon.com/terribleinfant. If you feel like getting early release videos and all that other exclusive content, like I said, I think it starts at $2 a month is our lowest tier, and there's $3 a month, $5 a month going up from there. Whatever you can part with. And then, and again, like a huge thanks to anyone who, I'm not expecting that you're going to do that, but if you do want to do that, and you do that, thank you so much. That's really awesome. It does mean a lot to us because it really, really, really helps us. It even helps direct the content that we're making. Like one of our patrons, reason we only have a few right now, but one of them requested that we do a mashup of a couple John Woo movies that we're actually working on now. So you can even make requests and stuff like that. We've already posted a couple clips on Instagram that were requested by one of the patrons. So you can have an influence on what we're doing. And then, like I said, we have the shop, Big Cartel, terribleinfant.bigcartel.com. So my name is Will, and we'll see you next time.